Okay, everybody. I want to welcome you to this month's. All right. Let me go ahead and mute this thing. There you go. I want to welcome you all to this month's Grow event. I am your host and your presenter, Nikki Balogun, and we are going to be talking about funding your business, the ultimate guide to business financing, funding your vision with confidence. So, if you have a business idea and you want to get started, but you are so concerned about funding, you are so concerned about funding your business idea, having the capital to start, this month's workshop is for you. So we are getting ourselves together here very quickly. Let's go ahead and fix one or two things, and then we will continue. So if you want to get into the private Zoom, you go to platinumkeyevents.com. If you go there, you'll be able to register and you will join me on Zoom. So we'll get started in a few minutes. We're just giving a few people some time to sign on, and then we are going to rock and roll. We are going to rock and roll. We are going to rock and roll. All right. We are going to rock and roll. Okay, let's see what we're going to do today. So I do have a slide presentation for you all. So I am setting it up right now, and we are going to do the presenter's view. Well, let me go ahead and close some of these screens down. That is absolute unnecessary. And then we are going to get right into today's presentation. So I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday. I will start in my presenter's view, and I'm going to start from the top. And there we go. All right, so let me check and make sure everything is good on our side. Everything is good on our side here because we usually stream live on our social media platforms, but we have made a pivot today and we are now streaming on our YouTube channel. Okay, so let me see. Okay. All right, so we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty here. Let's go ahead and see. Maybe we need to do it in a different format. So let's use slideshow. Okay, I think this one is better. I think this one is better. Let me just check it real quick. Need to do it in a different format. So let's use slideshow. All right. Okay, I think this one is better. There we go. All right, guys, so let's begin. We are talking about funding your business, the ultimate guide to business financing. I am your host for today's presentation, Nikki Balogun, and I have been helping business people put their businesses together for over 20 years. I'm also a real estate broker, and I have been dealing with all types of real estate for as much time as I've been helping people with their business. So today I want you to get your pens, get your pencil, get ready to do screenshots, share this live with someone who needs it, who is looking for help. I know what it feels like when you have your business going and you're saying, how am I going to sustain this without money? You may be a single mom, you may be a single parent, You may be divorced. You may have a spouse, but for whatever reason, there is not enough income in the household to sustain you to sustain the bills while you go ahead and get yourself ready for your business. You know, when you're starting a business, in the first few months of the business, you don't really make any money. You're setting up the business, you're launching the business. So it's always a good idea to have a buffer. It's a good idea to have that emergency fund set aside, or you have a spouse that's working with you or someone that's working with you to help with the immediate bills while you work on the business. Now, if those things aren't in place and you need to start your business anyway, but you don't have enough money for this business, you may just have enough to pay your living expenses, but you don't have money to put directly into the business to get it going. This is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the kind of mindset you need for you to be able to get this done. We're going to talk about some ways to fund your vision. We're going to talk about how you are going to take action today to actually get this thing done. All right? So let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. Now we have setting the stage. Mindset is money. We do have a Facebook group called Mindset Equals Money. And in that group, we have entrepreneurs, people that are in leadership positions, people that are looking to figure out how to actually start. Some of them have great ideas, but they really don't know how to start. Where do you start? How do you get this thing going? I have real estate investors in that group where they've been hearing about making money in real estate. But how do you actually get started if you don't know anyone? If you really don't have the money, where do you start? So we're going to start off with our mind, with our mindset. Our mindset shapes actions and decisions, right? Positive thinking leads to positive outcomes. The scripture that I use is, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And then I normally ask, what do you believe about yourself? What are you saying about yourself? What are you talking to yourself about? And then everybody talks to themselves. Don't get it twisted. Everybody has these thoughts that come into your mind that's telling you the opposite of where you want to go. But do you have an argument to back up and counteract the thing that is telling you you can't do it? The things that's telling you is you're crazy. You're crazy to be able to think you can do this business, to think you can be a millionaire, to think you can be a billionaire. Who am I talking to today? Do you have some words in the reservoir that when these things come up on you, when these things start challenging you in your mind, those words begin to pop out? And the scripture comes alive. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And after you deal with your mindset, then what you have to do, you have to have a clear vision of what exactly you're going to do. You got to see yourself where you want to be, and you have to be realistic as to where you are right now and begin to make that roadmap to get to where you're supposed to be. Right? Now, we spoke about the Facebook group, Mindset Equals Money. In this Facebook group, we are dedicated to entrepreneurs and leaders. So if you're watching this and you are not a part of that group, Go to Facebook, search mindset equals money, join the group, answer the few questions and join the group, because I remember what it was like for me when I started in my very early 20s, trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to be a business person. The time when I started, I felt like that was the only thing for me to do that made sense. I had 3 small children. I was married at the time, but guess what? I wanted more for my life. I wanted to contribute. I wanted to do something else for the family. Don't get me wrong. A stay-at-home mom is great. And I did that for a long time, but I always wanted to do something. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was a passion of mine. So we created this Facebook group for me to give back to all the people, the young men, the young women, no matter what age you are. I don't discriminate. You have a passion for this thing. You know this is something that you want to do, but you need support. You need to be able to ask some questions. How do I do this? And get some kind of a feedback from somebody who actually knows what to do. So if you're not a part of Mindset Equal Money, go ahead and become a part of it, because it is a resource for anybody who is an entrepreneur or a leader. Okay? So just go ahead, join that community, answer a few questions, and you will be able to become a part of it. We're going to talk a little bit about clarity of vision and overcoming obstacles. Believe you me, the most important thing that you can do when you're on your journey to be a successful business person is, number one, deal with your mind, all your traumas, all these kinds of stuff. You got to deal with it, right? And then you have to have clarity of vision. Having the skills, the technology, and the know-how, those are the easy part, because it's not something you have to think about. It's a skill. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So those things are the easy part. These parts that I'm talking to you about first are the things that you really have to hammer into. Today, we're talking about clarity of vision, the importance of making sure you know exactly what you are doing in your business. What are you trying to create? Who are the people that you're trying to talk to? Right? All these types of things that you think about. Then another scripture comes to me. Who decides to build a house without first counting the cost? Who does this? Who decides to start a business without looking at all the pieces? Okay? Failing to calculate different things that's gonna come against you, that you're gonna have to deal with, whether it be spiritual things or natural things. Okay? Taking a look at financial requirements. What is it going to be? What is it going to require for me to keep this business afloat for 6 months, 90 days, until it begins to turn a profit? The scripture is here, Luke 14:28, counting the cost before building. Nobody does this. No, picture a house. Who decides to build a house and you didn't first figure out how much it's going to cost, right? Who decides to build a business without first figuring out what it's going to cost you, not only financially, not only spiritually, emotionally, what it's going to cost your family? You got to go deep with this thing. You got to think about it very deep. All right? Now we're getting into the funding part. We're going to get into the funding part. Okay. Now we have personal funding versus business funding. Now, you can always fund something through your personal savings, whether you're going to get a loan on your 401k or you're going to get some kind of advance from something that you have saved up, or you're going to go the business route and you're going to get business loans and lines of credit. Okay? When we're talking about personal things, you want to make sure that you do not commingle your personal expenses with your business expenses. You want to make sure that you're keeping these things separate. Okay? And when you're dealing with your personal credit score versus your business credit, that's another thing for you to keep in mind. I'm going to break everything down for you right now. So there's two things you want to think about. Either you're going to use your personal credit, your personal assets to fund your business. So here are the things that I've seen. I've seen persons take equity lines of credit from their personal home. I've seen them take loans from their 401k or their IRAs. I've seen them cash out their personal credit cards. I've seen them had savings. So now these are the ways you can use your personal resources to fund your business. That's one way to do it. The next way is to fund your business with business loans or business lines of credit. That means you have to set up your corporate entity. You got to get that structured right. Whatever state you're in, you got to make sure you're registering it. And then the key points is you need a business address. Yes. You need a business phone number. You need a domain name with your website, and you need a business email. You cannot use your personal address. You cannot use your business, your personal email, right? So you need to create everything for this entity, get it set up correctly so you can start getting funding for that business. So there are several ways for you to fund the business, but you need to set it up correctly. You need to get it going correctly because you're creating another person under the business. So that's two ways for you to get funding: through your personal resources or through business funding. Okay, now we're going to talk about grants. There are several grants that you can get access to for starting your business. Now, if you have time and you planned this correctly, it would be a great idea for you to start off by getting grants, applying for grants. So we're going to have some resources at the end of this presentation where you can go to start looking into grants for your business. Okay? Now, you can also leverage your personal credit. Now, we spoke about business funding, business credit. You can get business funding on your business by itself with no personal guarantee. Personal guarantee is when you, as the individual, guarantees that debt. So you do have the ability to build up your business in a way that you can go for loans with your business by itself without you personally guaranteeing the loan. There's also a way, if you have decent credit, to partner with your business and use your personal credit to help the business establish its own credit and get going. Of course, if you have decent credit and you're able to do it, you would get funding a lot faster for your business if your business doesn't currently have have a history by itself. All right? So here are some action steps that you can take in order to get funding for your business. Number one, remember that you can fund your business with your personal resources. With your personal resources. You can fund your business with your personal resources. Number two, you can get a line of credit for your business entity, but you have to make sure that your business entity is set up correctly. Okay? Then number three, you can get grants for your business. So you want to go ahead and research how to get grants. Grants is a great way to get funding for your business because you don't have to pay them back. So grants is an excellent way to get started with funding your business. And then you yourself can partner with your business to get going. It makes it a little easier than when your business gets going, you will now be able to let that business go and do what it has to do and move forward. All right. I want to talk to you a little bit about the business launch toolkit and the accelerator program that we have going on. We have a business launch toolkit. You can find it at mindsetequalmoney.com. If you go there, mindsetequalmoney.com, you will be able to get a copy of our business launch toolkit. It's only $47. Once you get this toolkit, you'll get it immediately in your email. You'll be able to download it. You'll be able to use it as a guide to launch your business. Once you get it, you'll be able to write your business plan. It will be asking you questions that you need to think about, that you need to put in the answers. That will give you a clear blueprint of exactly what to do. Then paired with the toolkit, you can have the option of joining our group coaching, where you will have access to a 4-week program where you'll join other entrepreneurs like you, get access to coaching. So we will do the toolkit together. I will help you. I'll personally be in those rooms and I'll help you go through the toolkit and get your business launched the right way the first time outside of the box. Now, if that's something that's interesting to you, go to Mindset Equal Money to learn more about it. So I think that is it for today's presentation. I want to thank you so very much for watching us live. To get more information, go to nikkibalogun.com. You can get information on me and other resources that we have for you to grow, for you to scale your business with success.